This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So conditional statements. So we'll be talking about conditional statements. So conditional statements అంటే the Python statements, that depends on a condition. That depends on a condition for the execution. So it depends on the condition for the execution. So what is this basically? So this is a Python statement that will depend on a condition for the execution. Okay, so we have the following types of conditional statements. We have the following types of conditional statements. First one, if statement. If statement. Second one, if else statement. So if statement, if else statement, then we have if else statement, if else statement, and then we have nested if statement, and we have nested if statement, and we have shortcut if statement. Shortcut if statement. Okay. So these are all the types of conditional statements we have. Okay, so you can also call them as conditional control statements. Okay, first if statement. In this, we have a condition that will evaluate to true or false. That will evaluate to true or false. So in this, we have a condition that will evaluate to true or false. If the condition is true, if the condition is true, a true statement block, a true statement indentation block. A true statement indentation block gets executed. Executed. If the condition is false, if the condition is false, the control of the if statement will exit. Will exit. Okay. So how can I show this? So I can show you this by the help of a table. A table where I have the syntax, where I have the control flow, and I have the example. Okay, so syntax. So first is syntax. Syntax if condition. So here I will have true statement. Then okay, so true statement. So if the condition is false, this is the indentation block. Indentation means the spacing. So ఈ స్పేస్ అన్నమాట. సో ఈ స్పేస్ ని మనం ఇండెంటేషన్ అని అంటాం. so indentation, and how the control flow will be. The control flow would be, okay, so here the program will start, the program will flow, and here you will have the condition. If the condition is true, if the condition is true, the true statement indentation block will get executed. If the statement is false, nothing will get executed, it will go out. So like this, we are going for, the control flows. Okay. So next we will be talking about the example. So I'll just give an example. Check if a number is less than 100. If a number is less than 100, okay. So a is equal to some number. A is equal to some number. If we should have a condition. If a less than 100, a less than 100, I should print one statement. So print a is less than 100. A is less than 100. Okay. So if a less than 100, so what I should print? I should print a is less than 100. Okay. So if a is less than 100, I should print a is less than 100. So this is the true statement. This is the true statement block. Okay, true statement block. So how the execution will take place here? It will totally depend on the number. Okay, so suppose for example, a is equal to 55. If a is 55, what it will check? 55 less than 100. So if 55 is less than 100 is true. So it is obviously true. So true means what should be executed? A is less than 100 should get executed. Or less than 100 should get executed and it will go. Okay, so what is output? Output is going to be A is less than 100. Okay, now for example, A is equal to 108. So A is 108. So 108 less than 100 is false. So false means it will go and do nothing. So it is coming out of the if without doing anything. So it is coming out of the if without doing anything. So that is the false. Okay. So here it is going to be false. So A is equal to 108 is going to be 108 less than 100. So 108 less than 100 is going to be false. False means you should come out. So in this way, you work with the if logic. If logic. So A can be anywhere. A can be anywhere. So A, first case 55, second case 108. If it is 55 less than 100, so you are saying A is less than 100. So if it is false, we are not doing anything. So we are just coming out. Okay. Right. So now let us have the examples here. Okay. So now A is equal to, okay. So if A is less than 100, so I will say print A is less than 100. A is less than 100. So simply I'm running this. Now you have to give a value. Like say I'll give 55. So 55 is less than 100. So what is the answer here? A is less than 100. A is less than 100. So whenever I'm saying A is less than 100, so you are saying that, the condition will be false. Okay, so the condition will be, condition will be 2. Now, for example, if I am taking A is equal to 108. So if A is equal to 108, so I am not giving any answer. So no output. So no output in this case. So why there is no output? So there is no output because, okay, so there is no output because we don't have any, we don't have anything to get if the condition is false. So that's how the examples will work. So, and this is the flow. So this is the flow that the example is running. Okay, so that's the way that you take up the examples. Okay, so this is if statement. So whenever I'm talking about the if statement, so this is the if statement that you are working. Okay, right. So I'll tell you one concept where input function. Okay, so input function. How does this input function help us? Input function. So this function is used to get the values from the keyboard. From the keyboard. Okay. So this function is used to get the values from the keyboard. Okay. So by default, we will take a string. We'll take a string. So by default, we will take a string. Okay, so by default, we'll take a string. However, we can convert. We can convert the values. We can convert the values into the respective types. We can convert the values into respective types. Okay, so that thing we can do. Okay, right. So how we can do all this stuff, we will understand. So input function. So whenever I'm saying input function, let's say I'm taking x is equal to input. So input. So input if I'm taking so x. So print of x. Now simply I will run this. Now I will take the input from here. So let's say 8. So the value I take here is going to be 8. So 8. So it is waiting. It is waiting for me to give the input. So it is waiting for me to give the input. Okay. So it is waiting for me to give the input. So once I give the input, so the control is waiting for the input. The control is waiting for the input. Okay. So if you give 8, suppose if we type 8, it will get stored in X. So it will get stored in X. So what is the value of X now? X is going to be 8. So it is going to be 8. So we are saying we get the value get stored into 8. So X takes the value 8. So it takes up the value 8. Okay, so in that way, you are going to take 8, so that 8 will go into here. But what that 8 will be, that 8 will be string. That 8 will be string. So it is string. Now I want to convert. I want to convert. So I can say int of x. So I'll say x is equal to int of x. Now you say type of x. So type of x now it will become integer. Means if you have to convert that into int, you can do that. If you want to convert that into let's say y, and you say float of y, so you can also do that. So you can okay. So float of x. So float of x. So you can also convert that into float. So in this way, You can convert the values. So you can convert the values into whatever you want. Okay, so whatever you want. Okay, so or we can even directly convert. So we directly convert, directly convert the values at the runtime. The runtime. So how we can convert the values directly at the runtime only? We can say int of enter a number, enter a number. Okay, so simply now you can see. Okay, yeah, one second. So it's int of input, int of input of number. So you can see enter a number. I will say 8. Now that 8 is automatically a int, automatically int. So in this way also you can take up the values. Okay, so in this way also you can directly change the values. So in this way you can directly change the values. Okay, so now I am rewriting the above programs using the input. Using the input. So I'm rewriting the above programs using the input. So what are the above programs? So this program and this program. So here I will say int of input of enter a number. Enter a number. So simply I will say okay, enter a number 14. So A is less than 100. So A is less than 100. So in this way, you are getting the output. So enter number 14, A is less than 100. So same thing here. I will write this. So same thing I'm writing here. So enter a number again. So I will say 897. So I'm not getting any output because so that is less than 897 is less than 100. Okay. So in that way, you are looking at no output here. Okay. So why you are looking at it like that? Because we are taking a number and that number is less than. So whatever number the user can take. So user can take any number for that matter. Okay. Once this prompt is given, the user can take any number of his choice. Okay. So that's how you build the programs. Okay. Right. So in if statements we execute execute the statements if the condition is true. If the condition is true. Okay. So if the condition is false, if we want the execution for the false condition also, we go for if else statements. We go for if else statements. So we are going for the if else statement. So what are these if else statements? In this, we have a true indentation block that gets executed executed if the condition is true. Okay, so in this we have a true indentation block that gets executed if the condition is true. And we also have a false indentation block that gets executed if the condition is the condition is false. Okay. So then how this will look like? So we will insert syntax. So control. Yeah. So syntax. The syntax would be if condition. So we have two statements and we have else we have false statements. Okay. So if condition is true, you get the true statements, and if the condition is false, you get the false statement. Okay. Now how the control flow will look like? So control flow. So this will be the start, and the control flows here, and then checks the condition. If that condition is true, if this condition is true, the true statements will get executed. True statements will get executed. Okay, the condition is false also. There will be false statements. There will be false statements, and after true statement also it will get out, and after false statements also it will. Now check whether check whether the number is a single digit number or not. So we need to check whether a number is a single digit number or not. So what is a single digit number first of all? Single digit number is a number which lies between plus 9 and minus 9. Okay. So a number which is greater than minus 9 and which is less than plus 9. Okay. The number which is greater than minus 9 and the number which is less than 9, less than or equal to 9 rather, greater than or equal to minus 9 and less than or equal to plus 9 is known as a single digit number. So whenever you are talking about a single digit number, so we have a single digit number, so which lies between plus 9 and minus 9. So in short, you can write something like this. Okay, so like this, right? So what I can do here is I can ask the user the number to give. Okay, I can ask the user the number to give something like x is equal to int of input of enter a number, and I can write if minus 9 less than or equal to x less than or equal to plus 9. Okay. So here I will say print single digit number, single digit number, and here I will write else print double digit number. Okay, so print double digit number. So I'll ask the user to enter a number. Suppose we enter 6. So 6 is definitely a single digit number. Okay, so 6 is definitely a single digit number. and at the same time, if we are giving enter a number 99, so it will say double digit number. Fine. So means else it may be a double digit number, and you will not have, okay, or otherwise I'll make it simple, not a single digit number. Okay, so let's write something like that. So x enter a number. So if we are saying 99, so 99 is not a single digit number. So in that way, you are trying to give a value, and that value will be either a single digit or not rather. Okay, so single digit number or not. So in this way, you are going to have the so you are going to have the if else. So if this is true, this will get executed. If it is false, this will get executed. Okay. So in that way, you are looking at the lines of the code. Okay. So if logics. Okay. So if logics. So if this is true, this will get executed. If it is false, this will get executed. Okay. So that way it goes. Okay. So now, I want a logic where I have to go for multiple options. I have to go for multiple options. So this option is okay for the binary results. Okay, the if else statements are quite good for the problems that have binary. If else statements are quite good for the problems that have binary uh, observations. Binary observations such as yes or no, good or bad, something like this, good or bad, etc. Right? So they are like binary. Okay, so they are like binary. Okay, so if at all, I want multiple means there is something like, for example, if you observe here, single digit number, double digit number, triple digit number, something like that. So, or a simple example where a number, so use case, okay, right, something like use case. So a number can be positive or negative or zero. So it is like three possibilities. A number can be positive, a number can be negative, or a number can be zero. So there are three possibilities here. Okay. So what I'll do here is I will go for x is equal to int of input of that number. Fine. Then if number is greater than 0, we can say that it is positive number. Okay, it is positive. So else, if I'm writing, I can write only negative. I can write only negative. Okay, I cannot write zero. I cannot write zero. So that is why I will choose, but with if else, we can choose either from positive or negative. Either from positive or negative, but not zero. But not zero. So we go for if and if else. So we go for if elif else. Right. So if elif else. What does if elif else? This we can have. We can have conditions. So we can have conditions. We can have conditions, and where each condition, each condition upon true may execute. Each condition upon true may execute the true statement. If all the conditions are false, if all the conditions are false, then an optional else block will get executed. Will get executed. So how the structure will look like, we'll see. So we can go for insert a table. So we'll say syntax. Say flow chart. Control flow chart. And I can say example. So syntax is like if condition, if condition. So here I'll say true statement. Okay. Elif. Elif is combination of else and elif condition, and I will say true statement. And I can say elif again. Elif condition true statement. And like this, I can just go on and I can put elif condition to statement, and it can be closed up with the else, where else will have the false statement. Okay, so like this we can have the if else if structure. Okay. So how the if else if structure will look like? If else if structure will look like. So start, and you go on, and then you have a condition. So this condition may be true or false. If it is true, if it is true, it will complete the step. Okay. If it is false, if it is false, then we can check one more condition. Again, if this is true, okay, so here you will have the true statement of course. Here you have the true statements. Okay, so here you will have the true statements. Then, if the condition is true again, so you can have the true statements, and then execution will be over. So if the condition is false, so you will have the condition again, and this process will go on. This process will go on, and finally, if all the conditions are false, we will go for the false. Means if all of them are false, if all of them are false, we will go for the ultimate false statement. So that's the condition. Okay. So here, so here, check whether a number is positive, negative, or 0. Positive, negative, or 0. Okay. So what we can get over here, we can say ellipse negative, and I can say else. So print 0. So now, for example, if I'm giving 8, so 8 is positive. So then if I run this, I will say minus 8 is negative. Then I will say 0, so then the answer will be 0. Okay. So in this way, you are going to get the if else if logic done. Okay. So this is how you can run the if else. Okay. So this is how we can deal with the if else if logic. So if you have if else, you have if. So what they are doing. So if he is giving you only two statements, if else is giving you true and false both. So if else will give you true, so true one or true two or true three. If all of them are false, it will be giving you false. So that's the logic behind the if statement. So we have finished these three. Okay, one example I told you. So later on we'll see much more examples. When we use this in loops. Okay. So now we are talking about nested if statements and shortcut in our next session. Okay. So that's it for today. So if you have any doubts, any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Srikar. Thank you.